The sun is shining, there's a breeze, I just ate a cupcake, I'm happy, let's get started. I already have my base on. I have foundation, concealer, primer, bronzer, highlighter, blush, and I kept it all pretty natural. Not a lot of anything, not a lot of blush, bronzer, or highlight. It's all pretty what I would go with for like natural days. Although my natural is not most people's natural. So first thing we're gonna do is I'm going to create essentially like a vine necklace, I guess. So I'm gonna use a very fine brush, like a really fine brush, and green body paint to do this. My tan looks so uneven on my neck. And I like water activated paint because I think it's smoother. It goes on better. I don't like cream paints, and I don't think you want to use alcohol paints for this. So water activated paints it is. And this is actually the only, this should be the only SFX, well, this is the only like special effects product I'm using today. So I got it on the brush. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make it look like the vine, this vine is going around my neck, and then it'll go up onto my face on my right side. So I'm actually gonna start it from where it'll come down on my face down first. Although you could really do this in whatever order you want. If you had a friend, if you have friends, if you have someone who can help you with this, you can go completely around your neck, or if you have like 700 mirrors to be able to see and you can reach like that. But I'm alone and I don't have that many mirrors or want to try to paint the back of my neck. So I'll just have like my hair down. But if you could create like all the way around and have your hair up, that would be a really cool look too. So we're just creating basically lines. Oh crap, what the heck is happening with this paint? Hold up, this paint's acting weird. Okay, that's what was happening. Alrighty. So I added too much water to this water activated paint, so it was bleeding into every fine line. You can't really see on camera though. Every fine line on my neck. So I just need to blot off a lot of the water and mix it in a little better. Okay, so now do this again. Forehead looks a little weird, but we'll deal with that. Now, I'm going to start painting the leaves. These are actually very easy to do. It's gonna be the highlighting and shading that we're gonna do, like with eyeshadow. That's gonna make them look more realistic. This part, they're gonna look very well painted, because they are. But this is how we do it. Anyways. Well, that took forever. So they're all filled in and everything now. So I'm actually gonna take a little break from painting leaves on my face because we're gonna do a ton of shading and stuff to these. But first, I think I want to go ahead and do my eyes. So let's see, what am I gonna do? I still want to keep it like kind of natural, but I also want green. First things first, add a crease color. So I'm gonna be using 2 of Jaclyn Hill Morphe Vault palettes. I'm using Armed and Gorgeous and Dark Magic. So first I'm gonna take Shh out of Dark Magic. It's this cool toned brown. Just take a little bit of that and put it in the crease. I just need something to work with in here. And this is probably gonna be one of the colors I use the most for shading actually, because it is very cool toned and shadows cast a cool color. So, okay, so I just need a color in my crease. You might not even be able to tell that I did anything, but I did. Next, I'm gonna take orange or yellow, or both. I'm gonna take out of Armed and Gorgeous Access and put that closer to my tear duct, or like the inner third of my eye. Then I'm gonna take Secure and put that next to it over the middle of my eye. And then we will go from there. Can you tell I'm making this up as I go? Also, I'm really focusing on packing the color in there. How about I zoom you in a little bit? That might be helpful. So I'm really focusing on packing the color on the inside. Also, just totally did half my lid and not just the inner third. Whatever. Now I'm going to take Secure and put that next to and over that down the center of the lid. This brush is not for packing on color. What am I doing? It's just not a very bright orange. You can kind of tell I did something. Not really. So now I really want to incorporate some green. You can go back over this with Access really quick and brighten it up a little bit more because I want to keep the colors bright. I want to stick with, you know, the idea of nature being a little bit more colorful. I don't want to, you know, even though the element is earth and technically that means I could do an all brown look. It's not the picture I have in my head. So I think on the outer corner here, I'm gonna add, this could be a mistake, this could go south. Top Secret from Armed and Gorgeous is, let's see, can you see it? This green. It's very army green. I will go back with Secure, that orange that wasn't super bright, and use it to help blend these two together. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that yellow and run it under the lash line on both sides. To put Top Secret, that green, underneath the other side. So I'm just matching what I did on top. Okay, so I put on brown eyeliner in my waterline. I decided to do brown instead of white or black or anything like that because brown is the most subtle and that's what I wanted to go with, but I didn't want to leave the waterline blank. So brown. And I'm actually gonna put on brown lipstick as well. Still barely have lipstick on from earlier, whatever, we'll go over it. So now we're gonna move on, well, just go back to the vines. So now it's time to shade and all that sort of stuff to make it look more real. And for most of this, I'm gonna be using eyeshadows because, well, they give the best look of shadows. I'm gonna go back to Shh from Dark Magic. I just gotta pick where the light's gonna come from. I think I'm gonna have most of the shadows on this side, this way down, if that makes any sense. I'm gonna put a little bit of separation between the shadow and the vine. I'm not putting it right up against the vine. There is a little gap as if it were in fact lifted, except for the spot where the shadow shifts. So, let's see. Does that make sense? Did I explain that well? So now the shadows are going to be on this side of the vine. It's one of those things that once you start creating shadows and you start doing it, you kind of figure out what's going to look the best and what's going to look the most natural. Just from doing it and just understanding how shadows work. I think everyone knows how shadows work. I will say, it was pretty hard to resist the urge to turn this into a gory look. I really thought about making it look like the vines were going like into the skin, and it, well, I would have gotten to use blood. But I wanted this to be a little bit prettier, more on the artsy side than gore. Actually, I want all 4 of the elements that I'm going to do are like that. Instead of, like with the 7 Deadly Sins, I tried to go creepy and gory. That was the idea. But I think for the 4 elements, I'm trying to go for a little bit more pretty and artsy. Now what I'm going to do is start shading the leaves. What I'm going to be doing is mixing From the Dark Magic palette, I'm gonna use the green, which is exactly like the green in the other palette, but I'd just rather work out of one. I'm gonna be mixing Potion and Mojo together to create a shade of brown to shade in the leaves. Then for some areas, like the stem, I'm gonna mix Potion and Temptress, the black, for what I want to be darker. It's pretty self-explanatory. And I'm just gonna keep using the brush that I was using for the shadows, because why not? It's an e.l.f. smudge brush, in case you're wondering. So I'm starting with the darker colors. So mixing that green and black together first to do the stem. I think I'll probably go around and do all of them. And then I'm going in with the brown and green back and forth. Sometimes more brown, sometimes more green, to darken up the edges and then fill in the rest with a, the more earthy green, because this is a lot brighter than I want it to look. I mean, this green does exist in nature. I mean, I could probably go out to my backyard and find something that is this green, but for the rest of this look, and especially with how earthy the eyes are, I don't want it to be this bright. So I'm using the shadows to not just create more depth and more realism, but bring it down to a more earthy, natural looking color.